Let's talk about Cyberpunk2077. The newest game in development by CD Projekt Red, makers of the Witcher series, is a first-person shooter RPG that takes place in a futuristic, violent, crime-ridden punk city reminiscent of Judge Dredd and that whole vibe. My perspective is that it's a Deus Ex meets Rage meets Borderlands situation with augments, character creation, stat upgrades, and weapon loot. They just released a 45-minute gameplay demo on their YouTube channel and it looks pretty fucking time-consuming. Now, the punk in Cyberpunk is very present in this game. You got virtually unlikable characters across the board with major attitude problems who say fuck and cunt all the time, and it's just a whole avenue of humanity that turns me off. I don't like the world, I would never want to live in it, but that's just a consequence of the story they're telling, because you're not gonna have some virtuous hero who doesn't have sex before she's married and says things like, well gosh darn it all, in a game like this. The nature of the setting demands the denizens to react accordingly to the world they live in. There's a quick scene in the demo where it shows some nameless dude naked putting on pants and leaving our character's apartment, who can be male or female, but they went female in the demo. So it's established that we sleep around, and the demo narrator says we can develop relationships with different people throughout the story. Some chick in the comments was like, can I roleplay as a character that has self-respect? And that's an immediate fuck off from me, and the majority of gamers who either A, don't think the battle for social justice needs to take place in video games, and B, don't judge women based on their sexual proclivities because they can do whatever the fuck they want and still have self-respect at the end of the day as long as they want to do what they're doing. Claiming other people can't possibly respect themselves based on their actions is a tyrannical view of self-esteem and emotions, as if you wrote the book on how and when people are allowed to feel things. Anyway, it's got the varied approaches to missions that Deus Ex has, where upgrading your engineering will unlock different paths than upgrading your hacking would, or if you invest in physical attributes like double jumps and wall jumps, your exploration options increase. The missions have several different avenues of style. You can go in guns blazing or try to negotiate, you can meet with certain factions or bypass them entirely, and it'll all ripple through the story and affect your future considerations. Augments include scanners, being able to see enemies through walls, ricocheting bullets, lots of stuff that makes the gunplay fun. Overall, it looks like a deep-ass game that'll keep you invested as time goes on. Cyberpunk is actually trending right now on Twitter as I type this. What's unfortunate is that if you click on it and scroll through the tweets, about 80% of them are about the new gameplay demo, while 20% are still hung up on that "did you just assume our genders?" tweet reply they got heat for and apologized for a week ago. And at this point it's like, why are you piling on? It's over. I was in Jim Sterling's replies for a little while when he tweeted about it originally, the day it happened, as in a timely fucking manner, where he called it tired and unfortunate, which, yeah, and I was like, tired, yes, targeted or purposeful, no. And I got in a Twitter argument with some goth chick who had the word cisgender in her profile, so you know she's a bucket of roses. She blocked me afterwards because that's what you do when you win an argument, by saying go fuck yourself. It's like a victory celebration, to never have to see the person you just terrifically owned again. So if you don't know what happened, some fan tweeted this Cyberpunk Twitter account like, when are you guys gonna something, I don't remember, and they replied with, did you just assume our gender? As a joke because he said guys instead of non-binary hermaphrodites or something. Yes, it is tired, and not a good joke. No, it is not targeted or purposely insulting to the trans community, and if you say it is, you're a moron, like the chick who was arguing with me was. She literally said she assumes all instances like this are targeted personal attacks designed to oppress marginalized communities until proven otherwise. That's her fucking innate assumption. That is a terrible attitude, which I told her. You will drive yourself bonkers with a perception of the world like that. Before that, she tried to use a metaphor of like, hey, when someone steps on your foot, it still hurts whether or not it was intentional, right? And I was like, yes, but if you react the same way to someone doing it by accident as if they did it on purpose, you're a very unpleasant person. That's the first time anyone's ever blocked me on Twitter that I know of. I love the narrative because I had my tweet, then this chick decided she was going to educate me and jumped into my replies, then I calmly and respectfully, or at least not disrespectfully, dismantle everything she says, then she blocks me after a conversation she initiated. No longer can I attack her with my targeted defenses. People like that annoy me, and my content always being unapologetic and blunt has a nice side effect of acting as a deterrent to keep them away from my channel. But so don't let Cyberpunk get lost in that garbage. It's easy for a controversy to define a game and outshine its merits as a blip in history. If it turns out to be a good and worthwhile playing experience, it should be remembered for that, so do your part to help. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, you can like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.